So, does anyone here have a guess as to what the difference is between uni and multicellular organisms? What do you think, Juliana?
Unicellular only has one, and then multicellular has two.
That is mostly correct. Unicellular is a single-celled organism, and you got it right, you corrected yourself, is a single-celled organism. And multicellular is an organism made of what?
Two or more cells.
Yes, an organism made of two or more cells. So I am recording this so that if you somehow miss something, I'm going to post it on the Haiku site, and you should be able to see this, okay? So, knowing what we know about uni versus multicellular, that's okay, well, it's going to be on the Haiku site. Okay, so uni versus multicellular organisms. Uni would have, again, how many cells? Yes, and sometimes they have a nucleus and sometimes they don't. Now, multicellular organisms can have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 300 trillion like we do. And they have many cells. Now, can we think of any examples of unicellular organisms? Does anyone happen to know of any? Yes, Trevor.
Plankton? No.
Some plankton is probably unicellular, although some of it is multicellular also. What else? Yes.
I think
An egg?
Yeah.
An egg is one cell.
Really?
It is.
Oh.
What else? Any other? I'll give you a hint. There's something that you have on your hands, and when you wash it, you're trying to get rid of it. Yeah, that's a great one. Bacteria is a huge group of organisms that are unicellular. Yes. An egg is technically one cell because it's just one cell.
One giant cell.
It's one giant cell. We'll talk about it later. Now, multicellular. Multicellular organisms, some examples. Camilla, what's an example of a multicellular organism?
Oh, multicellular is Camilla.
Okay. Humans. What else is multicellular? Anything else? Any animal, any plant, any jellyfish. They are all multicellular. Most organisms that you would think of are multicellular. Now, talk about some other differences. In unicellular versus multicellular, what are some other differences? So, if you have one cell, like a unicell, and you have multicells like this, what happens if one cell in a unicellular organism dies? So let's say it dies, and I'm going to put...
Car crash. It dies in a car crash.
Yes, in a horrific car crash. What happens? Hope. Well, it might have reproduced, but once that one cell dies, what happened to that organism?
It dies.
The whole thing is dead. Now, that's different in multicellular, because if one of them dies, what happens?
They get over it.
They just get replaced, okay? Just like next semester when you all leave this, that's okay, you're all going to be replaced.
What?
Probably by, So, I know, I'm a jerk. So, that is one advantage of being multicellular. Let's talk about one more advantage, and then I want you to go ahead and do your... So, one more advantage of being multicellular is that with multicellular organisms, they are specialized. So do you notice what I'm doing here?
Greatness. Oh, it's the gate test.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. Basically.
Okay, so with multicellular organisms, you have something called specialization. Each cell can be a little different and have different jobs. Like you have special cells, like your brain cells help you think, or your muscle cells help you move, or your bone cells help keep your body straight.
Skin cells.
Skin cells protect your body. In unicellular organisms, they do not specialize. It's kind of like your junior high teachers versus your elementary school teachers. Do you wonder why in junior high and in high school, why do they give you different teachers? Because they're specialized. Because once you get to a higher level and you start learning certain things, you have to have specialization. You have to have teachers that know more about science, for instance, or know more about math, or more about English. So like your English teacher probably knows more about English than your elementary school teacher did. But your elementary school teacher had to teach every subject, so they knew a little bit about everything. But then as you get into higher levels, you have to get more specialized. So for us, for multicellular organisms, specialization is a good thing because it means the cells are better at what they do. Okay, any questions so far? So your job is to, in your journal or in Notability, I want you to draw pictures or one picture using one page showing differences between uni and multicellular organisms. So I want you to organize all of this information and put it into one drawing somehow. And it's going to be one page in your journal or one page in Notability. Yes?
One page for each or one page total?
One page total.
Okay.
Okay? So it doesn't need to be super complex. You could probably get started now, and some of you might even finish before the bell rings. Let's see what that is. So I'm going to stop it.